Time Scavengers, the counterattack of the 70s of the otherworldly trading system. Chapter 1, Extraterrestrial Things and Rebirth in the 70s. In the spring of 1973, the bustling streets were full of traffic and fog. Lin Enran dragged her tired body and prepared to rush to the interview of a state-owned enterprise, but she didn't expect that suddenly a dazzling light cut through the sky, and a strange metal ball fell from the sky and smashed on top of her head. Ah! After a scream, Lin Enran lost consciousness. When she woke up, she found herself lying in a rental house in the 70s, full of old-fashioned furniture and old streetscapes. Didn't I die? What's going on? She rubbed her head and felt a splitting headache. Just as she was desperate, the silver bracelet on her wrist suddenly lit up, and a low and calm voice sounded in her head. Host, the system is activated. This is the otherworldly trading system where you can exchange supplies with hosts on other planes to improve the situation. Lin Enran's eyes widened, and countless thoughts flashed through his mind in an instant. Since fate allowed her to be reborn in this era of scarcity of materials, she wanted to use this system to turn her life around. Chapter 2, Currency Scarcity and Rare Goods Can Be Livable. The lack of materials in the 70s far exceeded Lin Enran's imagination, and food stamps, cloth stamps, and coal stamps became daily necessities. The otherworldly trading system in her hand was like a treasure trove, and for the first transaction, she exchanged a few useless modern change for a bag of food stamps and a bottle of precious cooking oil. Lin Enran quickly figured out the pattern, and the system could exchange items brought by other hosts to match the value of the items in her hand. What surprised her even more was that she could choose to interact with a host recommended by the system, one from another industrial country in the early 20th century, specializing in providing mechanical parts. The other host is a technology developer in the future world, occasionally sending rare drugs and energy chips. During the transaction process, Lin Enran found that each host had its own unique story and dilemma, and her transaction was not only an exchange, but also an exchange and cooperation across time and space. Chapter 3, Black Market, Dark Tide and Game Strategy. However, the existence of the otherworldly trading system is not without risk. The social environment in the 70s was complex, and Lin Enran's influx of abnormal materials quickly attracted the attention of the local black market. The black market boss led by Tiger Claw secretly set his sights on Lin Enran's trading route. Once, she was intercepted by Tiger Claw's men and almost lost all her precious supplies. Fortunately, thanks to the system's early warning, she was in danger and successfully escaped by using the invisible device from the future world to exchange. This crisis made Lin Enran understand that material advantages alone are not enough, and that strategy, intelligence, and allies must be combined to win this race of times. Chapter 4, The Storm of the Times and the Trial of the Heart. As the scale of the transaction gradually expanded, Lin Enran began to get involved in deeper social operations. She helped the villagers introduce future seeds and new agricultural tools, which increased agricultural production and gradually won the hearts of the people. However, the political environment is becoming more and more severe, and the authorities are increasingly censoring foreign objects. Lin Enran once faced a crisis of identity exposure and was almost suspected of espionage. She had to use the future information provided by the system to cleverly escape the investigation while using otherworldly goods as a bargaining chip to gain the protection of key figures. At this moment, her trading is no longer just about survival, but also about changing society and driving change. Chapter 5, Systematic Truth and Fateful Choices. During a system upgrade, Lin Enran was surprised to find that the core of this otherworldly trading system was an ancient civilization from a distant universe, responsible for guarding the balance of the multiverse. And she herself is not just an ordinary girl who was smashed to death, but a chosen era scavenger, shouldering the heavy responsibility of picking up lost fragments of civilization in various eras and avoiding the collapse of the timeline. The system tells her that she must choose between staying in this era and gradually rewriting history, or accepting the mission and going to another more dangerous parallel time and space to complete a larger mission. Lin Enran thought for a long time and finally resolutely made up his mind. Chapter 6, Counterattack and Rebirth in the 70s. She chose to stay and use the power of the system to help this era that has just experienced a great cultural and economic transformation. She led the villagers to build automated small factories, introduced scientific management concepts, and even began to try to manufacture energy-saving equipment with future technology. Lin Enran's name has gradually been respected and praised, and has become a symbol of a generation of strange women. However, the real challenge has only just begun. Chapter 7, The Political Storm of the Undercurrent. As Lin Enran's influence grew in the 70s, her actions attracted the attention of local officials and central authorities. At that time, it was the eve of the country's promotion of reform and opening up, and there was an atmosphere of anticipation and apprehension in society. Lin Enran used the otherworldly materials and technology brought by the system to secretly help rural areas improve production efficiency, but was regarded as a thorn in the side of some vested interests. One morning, a sudden search almost exposed her secret. The police from the local police station suddenly came to investigate, claiming to have received an anonymous report that someone was suspected of buying and selling prohibited materials without permission. Lin Anran's heart tightened, knowing that this crisis was more serious than ever. She urgently activated the system's protective function, cleverly hiding some otherworldly items, and using legal information from another host to show the officials the legality and necessity of her actions. What's even more ingenious is that she predicted the secret needs of an official through the system and used materials to communicate privately in exchange for temporary tolerance. But this is just the beginning. As her power grew, those who tried to block reform and innovation began to assemble, trying to create more obstacles, even at the expense of the underworld. Chapter 8, Alliance in the Dark and Technological Revolution. The boss of the Tiger Claw Black Market reappeared, this time with more advanced weapons and minions, trying to seize the otherworldly technology in Lin Anran's hands. In order to deal with the greater threat, Lin Anran began to look for allies. She met Zhou Yaodong, a Western scientifically trained engineer who quickly became her right-hand man because of his open-mindedness and desire for future technology. The two worked together to secretly transform factory equipment, improve production automation, and inject a new impetus into reform. At the same time, Lin Anran also used the future medical knowledge obtained by the system to promote healthcare and disease prevention in the local area, improving the quality of life of the people. These changes have gradually won the support of more people and formed a force to be reckoned with. Chapter 9, System Changes and Future Warnings. Just as Lin Anran and his partners were busy promoting change, the otherworldly trading system suddenly changed. The originally smooth system interface flickered, the sound became low and muffled, and a piece of information that had never been seen before appeared. The multiverse is eroded and the timeline is about to collapse. Host, please prepare for the final trial. Lin Anran's heart was shocked, understanding that this meant that her mission was far from over. This is not only a rewriting of history, but also the maintenance of cosmic order. She immediately gathered all her allies and began to develop a response plan. At the same time, a mysterious option has appeared in the system, time and space travel, which seems to go to another era to complete a more arduous mission. Chapter 10, Cross-Era Decisive Battle and Destiny Reshaping. Lin Anran knew that he could not face the next challenge alone. After repeated struggles, she finally decided to start time travel and travel to another extreme era to find the key to solving the crisis of the multiverse. She bid farewell to her friends in the 70s, carrying the energy and knowledge given by the system, and stepped into the unknown cracks in time and space. It was a chaotic era in which steam and machinery coexisted, and technology and magic coexisted. Here, she meets warriors and wise men from different dimensions, allied with each other, and jointly resists the disaster brought about by the time rift. Lin Anran gradually discovered that she was not only a scavenger of the times, but also the guardian of the destiny of the universe. Chapter 11, The Rise of New Forces. After returning to the 70s, Lin Anran did not stop, and her otherworldly trading system is still operating silently, continuing to bring her a steady stream of resources and information. However, she soon senses that an emerging force is secretly gathering, a mysterious organization calling itself the Time Watchers, wielding power similar to the otherworldly trading system, trying to control the resources of various time and space, posing a threat to the multiverse. The emergence of this organization made Lin Anran realize that her task was not only to reshape the 70s, but also to prevent this force from encroaching on the order of the entire time and space. Chapter 12, The Contest of Resourcefulness and Cooperation. In order to face the Time Watchers, Lin Anran reactivates the contact of his former allies and actively seeks assistance from hosts from other eras. Together with Zhou Yaodong, she used otherworldly technology to develop a variety of defensive equipment and began to plan intelligence warfare against the Time Watchers. During an underground meeting, she managed to secure the cooperation of a traitor within the Watchmen, who provided key secrets and vulnerabilities to the Watchmen's organization. Lin Anran took this opportunity to launch a counterattack and gradually disintegrate the Watchmen's forces. Chapter 13, The Ultimate Battle Through the Cracks. Eventually, Lin Anran tracked down the location of the Time Watchers' headquarters, a huge time rift hidden deep in the futuristic city. She led her allies into the rift and engaged in a fierce decisive battle. The two sides not only clashed in the real world, but also competed in the timeline. Lin Anran used the mysterious ability given by the system to control the speed of time flow and repeatedly turn the tide of battle. In a life-or-death moment, she successfully sealed the rift at the expense of some of the system's energy, destroying the Watcher's core control system. Chapter 14, The Praise of Time and the Dawn of Rebirth. After the war, the timeline was stabilized and the balance of the universe was re-established. Lin Anran returned to the 70s and found that the history he had changed was moving in a brighter direction. The factories she founded gradually became a model for a new type of industry, the village became prosperous, and the quality of life of the people improved significantly. The last upgrade of the system earned her the title of Guardian of the Ages and gave her the right to choose the next part of her journey. Lin Anran chose to stay in the world and become a scavenger who silently guarded the times. Postscript, A Legend Beyond Time. Lin Anran's life is like a river that travels through time and space, bringing together the energy of the past, present, and future. She used courage and wisdom to compose a stirring hymn to the times in a seemingly ordinary era. The otherworldly trading system brought her infinite possibilities, and also made her understand the true meaning of life. No matter when and where, only with unremitting efforts and belief can she create her own miracles. This legend will shine forever in the depths of time.